Hi, everybody.
Welcome
to Meaningful Conversation.
Yes. I am Senzi.
My name is Lele.
Awesome stuff. So we are doing a follow-up on the conversations that we had on the previous video, and thank you for the responses and the comments.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. It feels good to not be going through something by yourself, especially when we got a response from a brother as well who said, look, it's a mutual struggle. So it's beautiful, and I'm grateful that we're having these conversations, and I'm hoping that it doesn't end on the channel. And hopefully there will be better platforms in future. We're praying about it, and hopefully God, it will be God's plan, because where He leads, He provides. Where we could be able to have a platform where we're going to have these kind of conversations, brothers and sisters, right, within the constructs of obviously using the word as our guide.
Okay.
Really?
Yes.
Anything you want to add? As an intro, we're going to go into the gist of it, but for now.
Okay, so the topic that we're going to discuss today, I'm a bit nervous about it because it's going to require me to be more vulnerable. But yeah, bear with me. I think between the two of us, I am a sheep, guys. I need Jesus, but yeah.
We all are.
Amen.
Amen. I think, the other thing that I have also realized is that there are areas where it's like there's more grace that you need. There are areas where you would be like, I'm cool with that. It's not such a struggle for life,
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I need grace there. I need the whole grace. And vice versa. But His grace is sufficient. So. So with the questions, you're answering first this time.
Sure.
She's like yes. Okay, so first question. So we've got 3 questions, and then you can answer them consecutively, or you can then just pause.
Okay.
And then ask me the question. English. It's been English in the whole day. Data is running out. So the first question is, what was your idea about sex or sexual intimacy before marriage? Then what was it like during marriage? And what was it like after marriage? But now I know after marriage, there's the just after marriage,
Sheesh.
Things are happening, and it's been 5-6 years.
I think you should start, my friend.
Okay, please start with the first one. Start with the first one, because we know my situation before marriage.
But we know my situations, my entanglements.
Before marriage, remember?
Before marriage. Before marriage, guys, I was not so well vested in this topic of discussion. Yo, guys, vulnerability up in here.
It reminds me of the person you were.
Why are we doing this meaningful
lifetimes
thing?
Away?
Because
Lifetimes away.
Yeah. So anyway, because I got saved. I was young, man, when I got saved. I was like 19. Okay, I'll be honest. Like I had been with one person. Like, my mom doesn't know this, so I hope she's not. And then I got married. I got saved. Sorry.
I think about a lot of people go, Lily.
Watch the channel if you want to know. Then I got married.
Oh yeah.
And so for me it was just always this romantic thing, and it was supposed to be like really cool and not cool, but very. Do you know how it's like in romantic movies? Like, you know,
I don't know.
there's flowers on the bed, and it's always like, yeah. So yeah, I wasn't. Let me just say, I didn't know much about it. I didn't have, and I wasn't very comfortable with myself and my body. And I used to read up on stuff, like even Christian material, and they'd be like, you need to know your body. And I'm like, how? I get we're not supposed to touch ourselves, guys. I get that's what they say. I'm not supposed to watch stuff. How am I supposed to know what I'm supposed to do and what I want? I mean, let's be real about it. I didn't know. That's me before marriage. You, my friend.
Oh, you're not gonna answer the during?
No, I think we should take turns so that we are balancing it.
Okay. Before marriage, I was not Mzalan. I was not a Christian. I was not a born again Christian. I was identify as Christian on social pages or questionnaires. I was that pictured.
Or on dating
Because, well,
apps, if you were to go on dating.
If I had to go dating, I would be identifying as a Christian because no, I don't fit into all of these, so I guess I'm Christian. So I was that Christian who did not even open a Bible, nor did I own one. The Christian who did not even really pray. Yeah, you know, like identifying because we know there's God, there's Jesus, yeah, and there's other stuff as well. So everything is okay. We are, you know, yeah, we're doing life. Yeah, so yeah, there were no boundaries. You see, there were no constructs and contexts of where sex should be exercised. I was I don't want to say feminist. I was, but I don't want to say it was feministic, the views that I held. I think it's because of not having the guidance, really. Firstly, to even understand the whole sex thing, because my dad was like, you're just not gonna date.
Sure.
Period. So yeah, until after high school. So I was like, high school now. It's doing me o'clock. Just doing me o'clock now. Yes. And yeah, shame.
You did you.
I did me. It was, guys, like, I know now they say body count. My body count was not that high. Come down. It was not that high, but I'm just saying that it was not something that was really, I didn't feel like you'd be penalized for it. I was, of that notion that it's my body and my decision, I'm a liberated girl, I'm, yeah.
Kumnandi.
Yo, guys. I don't know where do I share or overshare or undershare or, because there are certain things I want to share. But let me say, even within the exercising of that right, and going into those spaces, to tell you the truth, I was not really those girls that were into watching romantic comedy. So I had no really, like Mjolo for me, I had no idea what it was for Ngempela, So going into it, I was not really invested in any of the relationships I might have had, to tell the truth as well. Because I didn't understand the purpose that it had to serve in my life, to tell the truth. I was focused on, I want to be successful. Actually, that's what we were fed in the 90s. You can be that girl, get the bag, that's what you're gonna do. Travel, simple. If you don't get it, I'm not going to explain that. So,
if you don't get it, forget about it.
Yeah, no, we're not going back to that. So that was my idea. Even through the process of going into marriage, you know, it was like, yeah, well, you know, I had a worldly view on what is sex, you know, and, you know, entertain this whole thing of, yo, you need to spice up, you need to bring excitement, you know. Even after I got married, it was like, you need to bring excitement into your marriage, like
creativity.
Yeah, you need to be. So I was like very liberal about this whole thing. I was liberated, you know. So yeah, that was my view. It took a very long time for that to change, you know. It took a long time, because even within the marriage, there were so many lustful issues that I struggled with, and that we struggled with as a couple. I won't speak for my ex, but, you know. And in all honesty, I think I'm going into marriage now, because I've already explained the before marriage. My before marriage was rough. It was out there. It was very worldly, to the T.
Was it colorful?
Very, very,
No.
It was colorful. Some of the things, you know, when you've done this thing for a while, you kind of forget about them, you know, because you have been, God, you know, literally translates you from
You're a new creation
to being a new creation. So some of the stuff, honestly, to tell the truth, I have forgotten about it, but I know that the boundaries were there, but they were slim, you know. And yeah, it was just that kind of vibe in my life, you know. Then going into marriage with that type of idea, then you realize marriage doesn't heal it. You know, just because you said I do, now you're struggling with all these ideas and that you had before marriage, in marriage, and you don't have anyone, because everybody looks so prim and proper, and you're like, because you'll be sitting there, and she knows I was very rough around the edges, you know, because now I'll be on that tip, like, guys, like, we're married, but I mean, you can still see what's out there, you know. And then you'll be around sisters that will be like, you know,
what's
the
wrong
eyes would call you into order. Those are the times when I could not be called into order, so I'd be like, oh, that's what's up. Yeah, moving on. Some of us are there. You know, she knows very well what I mean.
I'm not those sisters, in case you're wondering.
No, she wasn't. That's why she ended up being my friend. She wasn't. No, she wasn't. Because I kept on doing that, because I was like, that's what's up. Yeah, that's how we doing it out here in these streets. What's up? And she'd be like, okay. You know, I'll feel like, oh my gosh, that's not the response that I was anticipating. Because y'all, church folks, like to act a certain type of way. And then she did not give me back those vibes. So I was like, okay, this is very interesting. This one is very interesting. And they kind of go, and she's celibate. And then she's like, so how you doing? I'm like, I'm doing it.
When we met, we were both single.
Yeah.
I was celibate.
Yeah.
I think at the time I was like, they said I must do it. I wasn't into, I was like, well, they say I must do it. I don't know how. And I would talk to her like we were in we were studying the Bible together. And she would share some of her escapades. And I would have to be like, girl, but you know.
She did.
But at the same time, I'm like, I'm envious. I want some of them. I don't know if I told her, but I know I
You
thought
didn't tell me.
I was like, I could use some of that.
I know, that is back in the days when you still had the poker face, so I couldn't tell.
Oh yeah,
what was going on.
I had like a dope poker face. Like I was real gangster in terms of my poker face.
Yeah, she'd be like, so mad right now.
Yeah, I am so mad.
I am so.
Oh, I'm so happy.
I'm so happy for you. I'm like, which one is it? Which face goes for which feeling? Because it looks like there's one face for all the feelings. Like, I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. Or I'm so mad right now. You know, I'm so. You don't look like.
Going back to what we went through,
Yeah.
like I feel like it's in line, and I'll answer that question the way I just answered, but it's in line with like our journeys through this whole purity call or celibacy call, because when you are being saved, you're not only being called to be celibate, there's more to that.
There's more to it, exactly.
But I think we struggle more with this celibacy thing, right? And maybe my question is, because I feel like we all go through, like we are all celibate but in different ways.
We've come to find that
So
out.
as it, we celebrate this week, next week, you know.
Yeah,
But also
or celibate, but we can
yeah,
do certain things.
yeah, and then also like as I was saying that earlier on, I was like, yo guys, this celibacy thing was just thrown upon me, right? And I was just like one day at a time, but it was like I was riled up, like okay, you know, I want some, but you know, I can't, because even if I do, they're gonna judge me.
Yeah.
If I steal myself, somehow they're gonna know I have to confess. Like guys, it was really rough.
It was rough too.
And then you get to a point where you're like, actually, I'm at peace with it. You get like, there was a time where I was like, I'm actually at peace with it. I get it, you know.
Yeah.
Now, guys, I've fallen shame. I'm not gonna say I've done this journey prim and proper.
On the different levels.
Like on different levels.
Yeah, yo.
Had a meaningful conversation. Vulnerability. Oh my gosh. Right. I hope somebody really benefits from this.
I hope so too.
Yeah, because I'm putting my life out there. Yeah, so I feel like it's a topic that I usually talk about because I feel like it is important to speak about it in church so that we can get proper healing.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, so where are you, my friend, when it comes to the celibacy part? Are you at a point where you're like, I'm at peace with it and this is what God has shown me? Or where you at?
Yo, man. Especially now that we are talking about where I started. I look at, because honestly, when she told me she was celibate, first I was like, what's that? And then she was like,
what does it look like?
Yeah, I was like, remember I asked you, we were driving back and I was dropping you off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was like, and so you're like, oh no, nah, yeah, so I'm celibate. Oh. I was like, oh, okay, what's that?
I'm sure I said I don't know.
And you're like, no, like abstaining.
I'm saving myself. I probably said something like that.
So yeah, like as I was asking, you went deeper, and then after that, I was looking at her like, it's so foreign. It's a foreign concept. I don't know what is that. I don't get it, and I'm grateful for that because I understand when people look at me and they also give me that, you know, response to say, hey, girl, it's a foreign concept. Are you okay? You sure you well? Oh, sure, Nana. But anyways, yeah, you know. But now, there's been so much beauty that God has done and I'm grateful for the fact that there is vulnerability that is required in your growth with in your growth and in your relationship with God, because man, I've gone through some dark waters, guys, you know. I don't know if we'll have time to share about that, but there are so many things that I saw in myself through my journey and through the struggle with lust. But it was a silent struggle.
Sure.
Because even my friends did not know how deep it was. And it is something that started at such a young age before I could have, like, you know, when your innocence is robbed from you, but you don't even know that your innocence is robbed from you. I didn't really go through I came close to being molested, but I had such a very protective grandmother that these things never happened, and I had a very aggressive dad that people were so scared of. So being inside of that protection or protective cover or covering really saved me from experiencing things that could have really damaged my identity, but God is able to heal everything. But it's small influences and small suggestions that damage a child, whether around the people that come into your household and the conversations that they have and they think you don't catch them. Things that are spoken koskolo. So what would happen is that Mohai, my grandfather, was a man who lived by faith. Okay, so we tried to run away. He tried to really keep us away from certain type of material. Mare, it was all around me. When I leave the house, it's outside. When I get to school, it's right there. Like, I think the first time I got exposed to pornography, I was in standard 3, which is grade what grade is it? Grade 5. Grade 5.
Grade 5.
Yeah, that is when I got exposed to it. And
that's like around 11 or 12.
No, I did grade 5 when I was very young.
10.
So I was
10.
I was 8.
Grade 4.
I was 8.
Oh,
I started school at 4 when I was 4 going on 5. That's why I finished school at 16 going on 17.
Oh.
So go grade 5, because I started school at 4 going on 5. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, so I was 8 going on 9 when I got exposed to pornography. It was the visual pornography. Yeah, it was a visual pornography. It was those cards. There was we didn't have, so it was those cards where they are showing people naked and stuff like that. Before that, I had been exposed to pornography in a very dangerous way, because I'm a person that through hearing I can visualize. I'm the person that really enjoys reading books because I can visualize. So I got exposed to pornography from a time I could understand how to talk, because it was all around me through hearing adults talk, and I would grab the stuff that I shouldn't. So it's food for thought about the conversations we have around our kids. And because of the fact that in our households, these things are not spoken about. So the world then confirms certain things that should be done before my mom or my dad or my grandmother, my grandfather have, the ability to dispel the lies, because they also don't touch that subject. Period. Right? So I grew up with that. I didn't understand those were seeds. And through every single thing that I got exposed to growing up, the seeds started growing. They grew in different, by being watered in different ways, right? Then there's I remember I used to watch Oprah. I'm not speaking anything against her, but one of the things I remember that kind of then allowed for me to continue that journey was, there was this other guest doctor, sexual person who teaches people on liberated sexual expressions. And I was watching that at the age of I think 13, 14. Now there's hormones here. There's already that seed that was watered to grow in a certain way. Instead of dispelling the myth, because my parents are not talking to me about this thing, she all the more now confirms the lie. So the lie became my go-to and my basis of what sex is.
Sure.
And being objectified, but so liberated. I'm like, I'm being objectified, but Don't objectify me. I'll objectify myself. Don't say it. I will say it. Does it change that construct?
Sure, that's deep.
Yeah.
Sure.
And these are things, as I was going through the journey, and that is why I can now boldly and comfortably share it, because these are conversations I had with God, and these are things that He was unearthing and revealing about where I got the construct of what sex is, and why I find myself having triggers in certain situations, or when I see the speck and I'm like, oh my God, there's the speck, you know? And I went through that throughout my marriage. The severity of this is that it becomes the very same reason for our insecurities. Because as you are being taught what sex is, you are being also taught the image that you need to wear in order to be the fulfilling or the fulfillment of that exercise. As a woman, or even as a man, I can imagine. I can't really speak for brothers because, I can imagine if I struggled with having to express myself as a woman, I can't imagine how much brothers struggle to have to express their struggles, and it's so it's so painful because but beautiful at the same time, because it's painful because everybody goes to the symptoms of what then became an ailment, right? But nobody honestly speaks about it from a space of vulnerability. It's like, even when you go to people that are supposed to assist you, or therapists. Well, I had a wonderful therapist. I have a wonderful therapist, but I can imagine that, when a person wants to assist you or they want to help you, but they speak to you as if, so how you can deal with your problem, and meanwhile they themselves are also going through the very same difficulty. So as a society, instead of really helping each other and say, oh, I know this thing, come, let me help you. This thing needs a bandage in this type of way. This thing needs you to sit it out a little bit like this because, and it might be different from you because God tailor makes our journeys, right? But be considerate, it's like when Paul said, you give a reason for your hope, but you're gentle about it. And with me hopefully sharing my story about my own journey, it's me giving reason for my hope to be in a place where I can be able to identify with this beautiful thing that God created within a beautiful construct that He created in, that unfortunately has been perverted so much so that we can't even recognize what it is really, what it's supposed to achieve really, because God is purposeful. He's a purposeful God. Everything He created has purpose, carries purpose. It's only beautiful though within the correct construct. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I really do hope that, as we share and we become vulnerable with our stories, that it allows for us to have honest conversations, because there's strength in vulnerability. You get to share something, or you get to be vulnerable about something once it has become a scar and it's not still a painful sore, and that is why I think it's beautiful when you get to a point where, because there's trust in it as well. And there's trust in vulnerability, and I understand when some people they're not there yet, and maybe something that you need to pray to God about, for God to assist you to get to a place where you can be vulnerable. Because I honestly feel like when we get to a point of vulnerability, that is actually where it shows that you are healing, because there is a trust. It's like when you had a wound, but the wound has gone through the process of healing and now it's in a state of being healed. You can say, the scar, and the person touches it, you don't, how look, it's not sore, and you're like, no, it just looks sore, but it's not. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, and that trust comes from really just knowing who God is. I think if there's anything Elon has helped me to become or to see it the way I see it now, is as I was going through my state of filth, that's how I saw myself, and my state of, I would have moments of like, what is wrong with you? I don't think a whole lot of women think like you do. Anyway, no matter, so filthy, and having to be able to just get to a point. It didn't start off like that, even though I knew that my father knew and he was there when I was doing what I was doing. But to get to a point where I also can say to him, help me with this thing, help me with it. So there's a lot to unpack about it. And I know that I've gone a little bit, of course.